Hello and welcome to Drmummycakes. These are the ingredients for making my super yummy spiced cake. You can see that it's full of spices, ground nutmeg, cinnamon and ginger, and for this I use dark brown sugar, which gives it a delicious flavour and texture. I like using brown sugar because it attracts moisture and it makes my cakes really moist. The first step to making this cake is creaming the sugar and the butter together, and you can do that with your stand mixer on a medium speed for about 2 to 3 minutes, or using a hand mixer until the butter and the sugar is well and nicely combined. Next, we're going to add all the dry ingredients together. So I've already measured up my flour into that bowl, and I'm going to be adding the spices. And you need to add all these spices because that's what gives it the flavour. So we're adding ground nutmeg and ginger and cinnamon, and to give the cake lots and lots of flavour. And honestly, you can taste all the spices, and even as soon as you bring the cake out of the oven, you can smell the delicious aroma. So make sure that you add all these and stick to the quantities in the description. Also adding your raisin agents, bicarbonate of soda and baking powder to the dry mixture, as well as salt. And you want to just mix so that it's well combined. Here I'm using a measuring spoon, or you can use a whisk to whisk all the dry ingredients together. And you can see while I'm doing this, I've put my stand mixer to be running and mixing the butter and the sugar. So this is what it should look like after it's nicely creamed. Make sure that if the whole mixture is not well combined, that you scrape down your bowl and mix again until things are well combined. Then you add your eggs while mixing on low speed. And once you've added all the eggs, mix on high speed for about a minute to get the egg to properly and thoroughly combine with the creamed sugar butter mixture, making sure that you scrape things down to make sure everything is nicely combined. And this is what it should look like once everything is nicely combined. Look at that, so silky smooth and delicious goodness. Ooh la la. Thank you for watching all my videos. If you haven't subscribed, I really appreciate it if you can click the subscribe button. I have lots of tutorials that will help you make and decorate amazing cakes, and I post a new video on my channel every Friday, so you don't want to miss out. So next you want to add all the dry ingredients to the batter in 2 batches, half of the flour and then half of the buttercream, and mix until it's just combined. Then put the other half of the flour and mix with the other half of the buttercream and mix on low speed until literally the flour is just combined. Be careful not to overmix, and yes, don't forget to add your vanilla flavouring into the mix as well. It's important not to overmix your batter, otherwise it turns your cake from being soft and moist to being a bit more harder than what you intended. And what I like to do is, as soon as it's combined, I use a spatula by hand just to mix it to make it nicely combined, and that way I don't run the risk of overmixing, which is quite possible if you're using a stand mixer. So this is what the batter should look like: a nice brown rich color, soft and smooth with no big flour lumps, and that's what you should be aiming for. I've already prepped my pan using parchment paper and floured the pan nicely, and if you don't know how to do this, check out my video where I show you how to prep your cake pans. So you want to divide it into 3 equal parts. These are 8-inch cake tins, but you can also use different sizes, but you might have to scale up your quantities. And remember, you should have preheated your oven. That should be the first thing that you do, so your oven is nice and hot, ready for your cake pans to go in. I like to give my cake pans a bit of a tap to get rid of any air bubbles and to get the mixture evenly distributed in the pans. And once I've done that, all that's left to do is pop it in the oven and then wait for it to bake. And voila, here is our finished cake, and you can see the advantage of lining your cake pan properly. It looks nice and delicious. So smooth, so soft, and like I said, as soon as you take the cake out of the oven, you can smell the cake and look at that texture. It has a caramelly flavour thanks to the brown sugar, full of spices, absolutely delicious. So I hope that you'll try this cake recipe at home. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday. Happy baking. Goodbye.